My name is Mark Charamola. Owned this 1939 Oldsmobile. Grew up in Englishtown, New Jersey Speedway, so was always out there on the weekends watching the races. My first car was a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda. It was a small block, just basic car, but it was something to tinker on, start learning how to work on motors basically. And that kind of set the tone for what I would have after that. Everybody I knew had muscle cars growing up. I had buddies with Mustangs, Chevelles, Camaros, and it just kind of followed suit that I should have one as well. Actually, the story behind this is a buddy of mine from Detroit. His name is Mike Dressler. We were sitting around talking about all the cars we had growing up, and we talked about we should always build a big block. So we actually built the motor before I had the car. So we got together, spec'd it out, found the block, started building on it. And then once the motor was built, we started searching for a car. He had a line on a 1969 Camaro that he had in storage that he said I could just have to put the motor in. Went down to downtown to the building to go get it. Drove around for about an hour and figured out that the whole building was gone. They had demoed the whole block. The car was gone. So the search continued. A buddy of mine found out through the grapevine that I had built a big block, and he said he had a car for me to look at. We said, sure, we'll come down and look at it. What is it? He said, oh, it's a 1939 Oldsmobile. At that time, I had no clue what it was. A couple weeks went by, he called me again. He said, are you going to come down and look at the car? And I said, sure. Went down there, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it was the right car to put the motor in. It was a big, big car. Definitely handled the weight of the motor. Basically started wrenching on it. It's 22 years ago. It's been, I worked on it pretty heavily the first few years, and then I wound up getting married, and then we started moving from San Diego, and we actually wound up moving out here. Started a pool business, started a family, bought a house. So the car sat for a pretty long time before I could actually start working on it. Life started out as a 454, took it to a machine shop. We had it bored out 30 over, had the heads poured and polished, resized the connecting rod, basically just kind of really bulletproofed the bottom end of it, and got it ready for the outsides of the motor. So it's carburetors, intake, stuff like that, exhaust. It started out, tried to spec it out for about a little over 500 horse, and it kind of snowballed from there. The chassis itself, we actually had to box the front end, and then to get it to sit where I wanted, we actually took it apart a second time and Z'd the front end to give it a lower stance but a full range of travel and suspension. The back end has been tubbed. It's got a 9-inch forward rear, 373 gears in it. The big Mickey T's, you'll see the back end of it. Strange axles, hardened steel, so it won't twist the axles out. Tranny is a B&M TH400 with a 3,000 stall speed, whole shot. The motor was actually built for nitrous. We haven't actually added the nitrous to it yet, so that'll be next season. My favorite thing about the car is that it's very rare, which is also a double-edged sword because it's also really hard to get parts for. Like grills or fenders and hoods and stuff like that. There aren't any other cars that interchange with the parts, so if you don't have it, you don't have it. But as far as what I like about it, it's just most people haven't seen too many of these. They're just that rare out there. Once I get the motor and everything kind of dialed in to where I like it, the front suspension, I want to do a little more upgrading on it. After owning it for 22 years, the technology's kind of passed me by from it sitting so long. So I'm right actually in the middle of doing a lot of upgrades as of right now, especially on the motor itself. I was running 2 Carters on here, and I have now switched over to FiTech system, which is electronic fuel injection. It's self-learning. So that was the motor upgrade. So if I did that, I also had to upgrade the fuel system. So I had to go to a higher volume fuel pump. I had to change the lines out to hold the pressure. I had a buddy of mine mill out a fuel block for it. After that's done, and like I said, I want to go to the suspension, maybe beef up the rear end up again a little bit, and then ultimately probably check out the whole chassis and just build a really good platform for the body, because I think I'm at the last part of the strength of this chassis to hold the motor in here. It's probably at its max. Like I said, right now I'm just getting all the mechanics out of the way. Once I'm happy with the way it runs and rides, then we'll take it all the way down, and then we'll start doing the cosmetics of the car. What was happening was with the new O2 sensor, it was misreading. It was sensing too much oxygen in the fuel mix, and it was dumping way too much fuel. So I had a buddy, we took the clamps off the kit and actually welded it into the exhaust instead, and that solved that problem. But while I had it off, I found out that my gasket in between my header and my exhaust had blown out. So it actually had 2 big leaks. So this time around, I went ahead and put a copper gasket in there, and that's going to solve that problem right there. Cool. And that's it. We're done. here is the fuel pump priming. Once it's primed, hold on. FiTech readout to make sure everything's at where we need to be for the warm-up.
So hey, that's Mark's 39 Oldsmobile, which I think is pretty rad. We ran into him, what, 3 weeks ago-ish at like a small car show and thought he was a pretty rad dude. Set up to do an interview about his car.
Pretty rare car.
Yeah, pretty rare car.
So rad.
So yeah, 454, board 30 over, makes it a 468.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I don't remember what he said. He's pushing, what, close to 500 horse, and he says he wants to go up to 8 with a blower. So we're going to be in touch with him, and when he does that mod next year, he hopes to do, then we'll check back up with him and see his progress. But that the FiTech system is pretty crazy too.
Dope.
Yeah, fuel injection, still don't get it.
It's witchcraft.
Wizardry. So anyway, well, this is like a series. We're gonna do some more interviews of people like yourself, or like Mark, and we're gonna feature your car, the car that you've built in your garage, or a car that you've had commissioned, because we want to feature you, and more importantly, we want to get your car on a t-shirt. And that's kind of what we want to do. Let us put your car on a t-shirt, and we'll give you a free t-shirt if it gets picked at the end of the month. And how that works is hopefully we can grab 4 interviews a month, and we'll have kind of a bidding to see who's got the coolest shirt design.
The coolest car.
Or which, yeah, pretty much the coolest car. So we're trying to space them out, like hot rods or, whatever, to try to pick a little bit out of each category and see what you guys like, and then we can kind of keep on that same track.
Yeah, we got some cool features coming up.
Yeah, and you definitely got loaded, a lot of cool videos coming out. Meeting back up with Gilbert on his 6-liter build on that Ram Charger, so stay tuned for that. That should drop on Tuesday. Yeah, so t-shirts, check out our website. It's in a link down below in the description. This one's pretty old. Probably got some welding holes in it. But new logo design there, and this one I don't think is on the website anymore. If you're interested in these designs, let us know, and we'll
Discontinued.
we'll try to print them.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, if you like this, like it, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, all that fun stuff. I guess we'll see you around.
Tight.
Is that too much?
Probably.